Get your motor running. Here we go. Yeah. How you like that sound, eh? Harley, man. Well, been around a long time. Good sound, good sound. Just brings back old memories. Yeah, back on the farm. I first started out riding when I was 6 years old. Used to ride me this old scooter, mini bike, you name it. Anything that had two wheels. And if we didn't have one, we made one. Good Lord. My grandfather, man, he was quite the bird. He had worked for the Indian Motorcycle Corporation in Chicopee, Massachusetts, believe it or not. Yeah, he was quite the biker, the old guy. Smart old guy. Mohawk Indian. Yep. My granddad, he was something else. Got himself a farm, went up north, bought a farm during the Depression. Made it work. Made it work. Yep. When I was growing up, I remember the old bugger man, he used to have these horses. He had these two horses, plow horses, big, huge things. They were the friendliest little buggers you ever come across. Of course, we didn't, ride them like anybody else would. We just patted them, and they loved us, and we sort of loved them. See, and they were a big part of the farm back then. Things were simple back then, There's no damn credit cards like they have nowadays. And we used to have money. Remember what money was? Money used to be that green stuff, you used to hang out and do it. Oh, yeah, it was fun. You got a pocket full of pennies, you thought you were rich. Oh, yeah, it was great. Old grandpa, man, he was something else. He had those horses. He took everything he had, and he took the implements from those horses, and he adapted it to a tractor. That's how clever he was. The man was brilliant. Man was brilliant. I guess that's where I get it from. Yeah, I love it. Up north, they used to call us peckernecks. I mean, down here in the South, I live in Richmond now, they're rednecks. There's just something about being a peckerneck. I don't know what it is, but man, I guess it's about the same as a redneck. You take nothing and make something out of it. This day and age, people don't do that. All they do is use that piece of plastic, run right down there and buy every damn thing they want. Worry about paying for it later. Nothing's permanent, especially jobs. You can be replaced by a screw. You can be replaced by a hammer, by a computer, by a robot. You don't have any job security anymore. You don't even have nothing between your ears anymore. All you got is that piece of plastic. Yeah, let's just run that piece of plastic and buy anything we want. Took me a while to get used to that. I come to Richmond, My sister said, you best not have any money here. I go, why? She said, somebody see you with money, they're going to take it away from you. Why, hey, you want to take my money? Come and get it. I'll tell you what. I don't put up with that horse shit either. But here in Richmond is sort of a pretty place, But I do miss the Adirondacks. The Adirondacks are real pretty. You get up in the morning and you had a nice cool breeze. Lake Champlain. We grew up on the lake, basically. It's only about a mile and a half away. Beautiful. Beautiful in the summer. Green grass, blue water, sand. Nice. Glacier Lake. You take your little boat out there, you go fishing, man. You can see the bottom of the doggone lake, for crying out loud. You come down here, Richmond, and they call these places lakes. They're no more than little mud holes, we would say up north. I don't see how any fish could live in one of them little mud holes, but I guess they do. They must eat sand or something. Yeah, but that's the way it is. Well, lived down here in the museum district. Came down here, let's see, about 16 years ago, I guess. Been back up north once. Don't reckon I like to go back up there anymore. Too cold. Man, I'll tell you, the winters up there were horrible. Yeah, going back to when I was growing up again, the winters, snow used to be over my head. Man, yeah, that's how much snow they used to get. I was only about 2 foot tall anyway back then. Yeah, that was about 2 foot tall. The snow was over my head. I used to tie one of them yellow sticks on my back with a little rag hanging out so they could find me when I was playing outside. Yeah, we were poor too. Oh man, we were a poor lot. Lived on a farm. Had 30 cows. 30 cows was a lot back then. I'll tell you what, we never wanted anything. We used to go in the city once or twice, maybe a month. Yeah, if you had to see the doctor, you went in twice. If you wanted groceries, you only went in once because everything was self-sufficient. Yeah, old Grandpa Indian, he knew how everything. He knew how to do everything. There wasn't nothing he couldn't do. Processed food, you name it. I lived up in a world that doesn't exist anymore, I guess. It's all commercialized. Go to the store to buy everything. And you know, back then, you know, we used to have pets. Like we had pet cows and pet sheep and oh, you name it. Anything we could drag home, you'd have a pet. Christ, I had boxes and all sorts of stuff. Skunks. I had a pet skunk once. My grandmother liked to shoot me out of the house with the broom that day. I brought that bugger home. I found him in a hayfield, poor thing. It's only about 4 inches long. Some guy my dad worked for, he come pick him up. Took him, had him descended. Actually, he was just like a cat and kept him for many years. One time we were ice fishing out on the lake. Man, it used to get cold, 30, 40 below zero, go out there ice fishing. So whatever we didn't freeze to death. It was just something about us, like we have this sort of antifreeze in our blood, you know, you don't have down here. You know, it gets way down them temperatures, you know, you just keep right on percolating along. You walk in the snow and it doesn't slosh. It's like crunch, crunch, crunch. It's crispy. You know it's cold when it's crispy. You drive your car and that stuff up north, your tires stick right to that ice. You come down here in Virginia, oh man, sun comes out, gets a little wet. You're in the rhubarb. That's right. You're in the pucker bushes, buddy. You're upside down. You're getting the tow truck because you're not leaving. But that's the only difference I have. Seeing that, you know, when it snows here in Richmond, I just sort of like, hang out in the house, man. I don't go outside. I'm afraid somebody's going to run my stupid butt over. Yeah, just stay here. Man, and I'll tell you, back then, too, when it snowed, you were up at 4 o'clock in the morning shoveling that doggone roof off. And you go to work, come home, 5, 6 o'clock, back to the roof, you shovel it off again. It was always snowing, always snowing. Cold. I don't know why anybody lives there. You know, they ought to just shut the whole doggone place down. Everybody go to Florida. And then when the sun comes out in June and July and starts warming things up, you go back up there for those 3 months because they're the best 3 months you'll ever live. You get on Lake Champlain. It's beautiful. Ticonderoga area, Adirondacks. You hike the mountains. I hiked a lot of mountains. Nothing else to do. You just pack a lunch and hike a mountain. As a matter of fact, I miss that down here. You can't hike no mountains down here. There ain't any, you know. And it was nothing like back then, too, you know. And when you were a teenager, you used to go looking for the mountain girls. You used to go up to this place called Loin Mountain. That's right. It used to be an old iron mine up there and many miners. And they used to have a lot of girls up there. They had blonde hair. They were, you know, Polish, stuff like that. I mean, you didn't have that down in the valley. They were mostly all Indian down that way. They all had black hair. But them girls up there in Lime Mountain, they were quite nice to look at. You know, they were pretty and fair-skinned. The little Indian buggers down the hill, man, they were like black hair, dark skin, you know. But they were pretty too, I guess, you know. But anyway, that was back in the day. Now things have all changed. Back then, the United States was the United States. Not that anymore. It's too politically correct. We sit here and we look at TV and you see all this stuff that's pumped into our heads, like some sort of sewage tank coming down the road with a big hose and they stick it in your mouth and they just fill you full of crap. Yeah, that's what they do, you know. People don't have a mind anymore. They should sit back and relax. You know, get back to the basics. Now, I'm sort of a basic fella myself. You know, you give me a can of Spam, I'm good for a week. That's right, a dozen of eggs, can of Spam, have a little coffee, puff on a cigar. Yeah, that's it. No more. You know, I'm doing great. I'm just doing great. There's a lot of us old buzzards out there that know this stuff. That I am old now. I wasn't old then, but now I am. Yes, I am. Anyway, that's life. Richmond's beautiful. Some sort of, thing going on here, but I'm sure it'll clear up. My ancestors, they came to this country back in 1659. That's right. I have a funny, weird name. The last name's Patnode. A Patnode, is quite different. We were the manufacturer of rosary beads back in the day. We used to live over there in Champagne, France, I guess. That's where they originated from, around that area. They actually have quite a thing of history. They settled in Quebec in 1659. Think of it. Coming in a new world in 1659. You didn't have any nice little Polish women like you did in Line Mountain. You had them doggone Indians, But they were cute anyway. Cute little Indian women. Yeah. Yeah. They know how to make a teepee and keep you warm in the winter. They were kind of beefy, though, They had a little meat to them. But they were cute as all hell. They could do anything a man could. My mom, she was just a midget. Yeah, she was about 5 foot tall. She was almost as wide as she was tall, but the doggone little Indian bugger boy, she could bake. Wow. Apple pies, bread. She said to me maybe about 15 years ago, when I was living up that way, she said, hey, why don't you get me a wood stove? My uncle over in LaCole, he passed away, and he sort of said she could have his wood stove. Well, unfortunately, it never made it across the border. So I bought her a wood stove and put an addition on her kitchen. And I'll tell you what, man, she used to make some of the apple pies that melt in your mouth. And they were big, too. You had a slice of pie. You had a slice of pie, mister. She could cook. What a little chicken head she was. Yeah, cute little bugger. I miss her today, She passed away. And my dad passed away, and here I am. I'm up in 80 now. I'm 70, and I bet you my kids say, oh, man, that guy used to be a little booger. Yeah, I'm a little booger. I'm a friggin' old booger. Hey, old boogers have fun, though. Yeah. Yeah. Come all the way down here, I've been building all my life. I've been building houses and all sorts of crap like that. There isn't anything that I can't do that I don't have put my mind to. So I come down here and got me a job with this company. I was building houses over in the West End. Great bunch of guys. Had a lot of fun there. Yeah, they were crazy little buggers. They gave an old man a job. I remember when I interviewed for him. Oh, I did say, I know how to do all this stuff. All I want to do is work. And the guy says, fine. I didn't charge him much. Hell, down here, you got to make 100,000, 200,000. Baloney, you don't have to live on that. Like I say, you give me a can of Spam and, I'm happy as hell. Hey, throw in a can of tuna fish and a couple cans of sardines. I'm the happiest turkey you ever seen. But it's been good. It's been good. So I started this little radio station to try to get people to hook up, talk, get things off their mind. You can talk about anything with me. You can talk about Donald Trump if you want. You can talk about Hillary Clinton. I don't mind. People are people. You can talk about them. You can talk about a toilet. It don't make no damn difference to me. I mean, some of them, they don't know which end to put on that toilet. But I can fix anything, do anything I want. I'm having a good time in life. That's what it's all about. I'm no more than a big bag of meat with a plus and minus electrical charge. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's that time again. Here it comes. I can hear it coming. Oh, Lord, I got to have that noise every once in a while. Yeah, it keeps me happy. Of course, I got one in the garage. It sounds a little better than that. Actually, I got two. Don't tell anybody. Somebody might want to come and get one off me. Yeah, right on, little buggies, right on. Yeah. Well, this is my test. And I want you to give me a plus or minus on it. Let me know if I can do anything different. I'll be hooking up to the phone when I get this thing done. So I'm having a good time. Name's Rod. That's right. Rod Patnode. That's right. Remember that Patnode name. The last name means Nostrapete. Does that ring a bell with any of the folks out there? Have ever heard of Nostradamus? Well, we're the other side of the family. We're the original ones. So, just remember, the next time you hear my name, it means our Father. That's what it boils down to. Nostrapete. And if you doubt me, look it up. It's kind of nifty. Bye-bye, folks. Give me a holler.